Today on The Joy of Editing, we're jumping into Analog Efex, a fun creative tool for getting inspired when your editing feels a little stuck. Stay tuned. Hello everyone and welcome to The Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly. Today we're taking a look at Analog Efex, which is part of Nik Collection 9, and I'm going to approach this one a little differently. This isn't going to be a deep technical breakdown of every slider and every control. Instead, I want to show you what Analog Efex is really all about: creativity, experimentation, and inspiration. Sometimes we get into a creative rut, we start editing the same way over and over again, and everything begins to feel a little predictable. Analog Efex is one of those programs I like to jump into when I want to shake things up a bit. It gives you a lot of creative looks, film-inspired effects, textures, light leaks, blur, bokeh, frames, and all kinds of fun tools that can take an image in a completely different direction. So today, let's have some fun with Analog Efex and see where it takes us. And here's a quick heads up: if you're thinking about Nik Collection 9 or any DxO software, you can grab 15% off new purchases with my code Dave Kelly. Links are in the description and you can try any app free first. If you use my links, I earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. Thanks for supporting the channel. Well, let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, I have this really cool stock image right here. Let's see if we can really get creative with this image. And we're going to have some fun here with Analog Efex. I opened Analog Efex from Photoshop today, but you have a few different ways to use it. You can also run Analog Efex as a standalone application or open it from programs like Lightroom Classic and DxO PhotoLab. So use whatever workflow fits you best. For me, I'm starting in Photoshop because that's where I usually do most of my creative editing, but the fun part of Analog Efex is the same no matter where you launch it from. Now, if we look over to the left side of the interface, right now I'm in filters, and you'll notice I have all Nik, but you could separate these out by categories like bokeh, color cast, double exposure, and it'll show you the filters that work best with those type of workflows. I'm just going to all Nik, so we have all of these different filter effects here. Now, if you look to the right of the interface, we always default with a basic adjustment, and it has like detail extractor, brightness, contrast, and saturation, just some basic controls. But on the left, if you want to add any one of these filters, just click the plus and it adds it to the filter stack. Unlike color effects, you can only have one instance of each of these filters in Analog Efex. Today's tutorial is all about fun. We're in a creative rut and we don't know where to go, so we open up Analog Efex and we try some different things out. Now, you could just start adding some filters and making some adjustments, or you could click on presets. Now, inside of presets, this is a good starting point, especially if you're in a creative rut, because you could just hover over these different presets. Takes them a second before they engage, and then if you find one you like say I like this one, click on it, and then all of the different filters involved for that preset look will be over here. And by the way, you can also save out your own presets if you want to. To save a preset, just come down here and click on Save Preset, give it a name, and save it. It's just that easy. And then if you come over to categories, right now I'm on Nik presets. If you want to see your personal presets, click on Personal. Well, let's play. Let's start out with a preset. So I'm going to go and click on Trending because I think there may be a preset in here I want to use, a glass effect preset, and these are the filters that are trending right now. Now I'm just going to scroll down through the list here. And I'm interested in the new glass filter in Nik Analog Efex that came out with the latest update for Nik Collection 9. Here's glass 1. See that nice little glass look there? Here's glass 2. Here's glass 3. You know what? I think we'll go with glass 2. I'm going to click on that. And now all of the filters change over here in the filter stack with the filters that are involved with this preset. We have light leaks. If I click right here in the toggle, I can shut off the light leaks. I'll turn it back on. We have the glass effect. Let me shut this off and turn it back on. We have all kind of controls in here, and we're also using some paper textures. Look right down around in this area here. I'll shut off paper textures. That's without them. this is with them. If you don't want one, just click the X. If you want to add another filter, come to the left side of the interface, click on Filters, and let's click on All Nik, and then we can see all of our filters, and then just hover over a filter and click a plus and add that filter. But let's work with the ones we already have first. As I said, today's all about fun, so I don't want to go into the weeds, but let's play around with this glass effect filter. It's a brand new one here in Nik Analog Efex. By the way, look at the left side of the interface. See these little orange lines? These show you the filters we're using in this preset right now. Every time you add a filter, you'll see another little orange line by that filter name. If you want to remove a filter, click the X or come over here and click the minus by the filter name. Either way does the same thing. Let's go to the glass effect filter. Now, right now it's in the soft light blend mode. You could click the drop down and try it with different blend modes, and I highly recommend that you do this because you may find an effect here that you really like. For instance, if you want a different look, try a different blend mode. Other than the one soft light is giving you, you might want to try hard light or relighten or maybe difference. That's really different, right? Let's try relighten. I'll click on that. And then we have a drop down here. You see all these different looks we have here. If you click the drop down, you have analog, basic, and geometric. And there's a lot to choose from here. Let's start out with the basic, and we're using this one right here. If I click on this one, we can see what that one looks like. It's going vertically. If I click on this one, these are circles. And then we have a bunch of controls here. But let's maybe go with this one. I kind of like this one. Or better yet, let's try a different category. Let's try analog. And maybe something in here we like. Oh, that's pretty cool. Well, let's click on this one. Let's try out some different ones. That one's kind of fun. Let's try this one. This one. This one's really trippy, isn't it? Let's try this one. And let's try this one right here. I kind of like this one. This one's pretty cool. Let's go with this one. We can always change this later. This is totally non-destructive. I'll go ahead and click on this. Now let's play with this. I'll move my cursor to the canvas. You see this square box? I can move this around and change the position of the glass pattern right there to maybe somewhere right around here. I could come on the edge and adjust the angle of it. Let's give it a little more edgy look, something like that. I can zoom it in. I can zoom it out. Okay, so again, this is your fun creative toolbox. This is your playground. Let's leave it like this. And then you can come over here and adjust the strength. How strong do you want the effect to be? Maybe just a little bit, something like that. And I think I like it. You can also invert it by clicking this button, invert it, or you could flip it vertically, or you could flip it horizontally. So a lot you can do right here. You can adjust its opacity down here. You can also come up and change the opacity of the entire filter up here. I'm going to leave it at 100%. And I think for the glass effect, we're going to keep it here. But I don't like the fact that it's on the person, but let me show you what we can do. For the glass effect filter, click on Add Local Adjustment. Let's click on Control Point. So click on Control Point. And what I want to do is click and drag. We can make a control point here. I'm going to make it larger. Now that effect's only going to go where I make this control point. I'll click on the edge here and widen this out a bit. This point right here is sampling dark tones, but what I like to do is make this like a graduated filter by taking luminance the whole way in, taking chrominance the whole way in, and now it's affecting that entire area there. Now, if you Option or Alt click right here, you can click and copy this and we'll drag it over here and we'll add that effect here. Now, maybe I want it down in this area, so I can Option or Alt click, and let's drag this down here. And if you hover over this area, we can turn this around like this. We can adjust the size, click right here and drag down. See, we can make that area smaller. And let's pull this down a little bit more. And now maybe going into her face a bit, so let's add another control point, and I'll click right here. And this time what I'll do, see this opacity, but first I'm going to take my luminance to the left, my chrominance to the left, and then take the opacity and just drag it off. Okay, so that takes the effect off her. If I just want a little bit on there, maybe something like that, I could do that. To get some more space here, you could click right here and collapse that filter, and you'll note it's right here. Nothing changes. And now let's turn off the light leaks. Here's before the light leaks, here's after. And let's say you want a different light leak. So I'll click on this light leak and notice the opacity is set at 61% by the preset. So I can increase that if I want to, but yeah, they were probably about right around 61%. See this drop down? It's on crisp. We also have soft, dynamic. So we have these different light leaks, but let's stay with crisp. I want to keep this one. I really like it. Now we could try some different blend modes here just to see how it interacts with the image. Is there one there you like? You know, I kind of like that one, but I think I'm going to go back with screen. I really like this. So let's click on screen. So that's our light leak. And say we're done here. We could go ahead and click and collapse, or, you know, you may want to try a different light leak. Whatever you want to do here, it's totally up to you. I really like this one. You know what? You start clicking around, you're going to say, I like that better. But maybe it's too strong. I'll take the opacity back a little bit more. And I like it. Let me shut off light leaks. This is before and this is after. I really like it. Now, if we come up here to compare, left click and hold, we started here and now we're here. And I really love this. But this image might look nice with a border. You know, we could go nuts and keep adding tons of filters here, but we would be here all day. But when you have some time, have some fun here in Analog Efex. But let's add a border, or as they say in Analog Efex, a frame. So let's click the plus for frames, and the frames go to the bottom of the stack. Now, I like the paper textures. I'm just going to click here and collapse that, and I'll collapse the light leaks by clicking on it. Now we just see the frames. It's just more organized now. And just like a kid in a candy store, boy, do we got frames. Right now we're in film strip. If you click the drop down, we have white. We have light box, and note that we're in the hard light blend mode, so you could change the blend mode and get different effects here, so pretty cool. I'm going to stick with hard light for now, and let's click through some of these frames. There's another frame, here's another one. These are under film strip. Let's try this one here. I really like this. It really adds to the edginess of this image. Now we can adjust the scale. You see right here, drag it to the left to decrease the size, or we can make it wider by dragging to the right. And I think I like it pretty big, maybe somewhere right around here. Now we can adjust opacity, so we could take the frame opacity back and just let a little bit of that frame show through. I kind of like it. Sometimes subtlety is the best policy, you know? So maybe something like that. I think that looks really good. Let me shut off the frames. Here's before, here's after. Isn't that nice? I love Analog Efex. You got to really play with this one. It's a lot of fun. I thought I was done, but you know what? I need to add some blur here. So I'm going to click on frames just to collapse this. And let's look over here. I want to blur. You know, we have lens distortion. We have bokeh, zoom and rotate blur, motion blur, double exposure. I'm going to go with bokeh, one of my favorites. I'll click the plus. Now you see this area right here. We can move this around. So I want my subject in focus. I can click and drag this down, make it more of an oval shape, maybe somewhere around here. We can adjust how it graduates out. You see that? So we can bring this in, bring it out a little bit. Maybe I'll just add a little bit of blur to the edge of her arm right here. You can hover and rotate this a little bit. Maybe right about there looks pretty good. And now we can adjust the blur strength, so you don't want to go crazy here, right? Subtlety is, again, the best policy with any kind of editing, I think. You just want it to look natural. You want it to look really cool and more photographic, so maybe a little bit of blur just like that looks really nice and adds to the edgy look here. Now, if we had a bunch of little light circles that were very light, we could boost up our highlights. Right now, we don't have anything like that, but you can change the aperture shapes to different shapes, as you can see here. We have all kind of shapes in here, stars and so on. But I'm going to leave this on a circle. It's really not doing much on this image at all. Now, let's toggle off the bokeh by clicking right here. This is without the bokeh, and this is with the bokeh, and I really like it. But you know what? I think I want a little more blur, so let's drag this to the right. Let's just give it a little more blur. I think it really adds to the edginess. Now, we could come up to compare, left click and hold. We started out here, and we end up here. Now, if you like your adjustments here, you could save this out as a preset, so just come down and click on Save Preset, give it a name. You have your choice where you could save it with local adjustments, or you could save it to a certain category that you've made, and then click Save. But I'm just going to click Cancel for now. And now that I'm done, all I have to do is click Apply, and that sends me back into Photoshop. Once I've clicked Apply and I'm sent back to Photoshop, it'll be a smart object in Photoshop, because if you click right here and click on Preferences, I've set mine up to apply as a smart object every time. This way I can always come back in again and readjust anything that I have done to it here in Analog Efex, which is really super powerful. Now, if yours isn't set up that way, you can always click this and click on Smart Object or Active Layer, New Layer, whatever choices you want, and then click Apply. But there you go. Well, there it is, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you ever get in a creative rut, reach for Analog Efex. I'm sure it'll really help you out. If you enjoyed today's tutorial, please give this video a like and share it with your friends. And if you're not yet a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe. Click the bell notification icon. Click all so that you receive all notifications. And then every time I upload a new tutorial, you'll get notified about it. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today in the Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly. And I will see you all right here next time. But until then, happy editing.